The United States has many allies and many enemies as well. Unfortunately, given our current political climate, the US is constantly receiving major threats from specific enemies. Two of the biggest threats to the United States include North Korea and Iran. But which is more dangerous? And how specifically do we measure the level of danger? I believe that North Korea poses a bigger threat due to its leadership, the overall unpredictability of the regime, and its allied support from China and Russia. There's no factual way to prove which country is a greater threat due to how there are different ways that we can measure what's considered to be a threat. But I do believe that with the information that I'm going to provide, that there's a way to come to a stronger conclusion, proving in my belief that North Korea poses a stronger threat to the United States than Iran. In this analysis, I believe that it is important to define the way that we measure threat based off of historical data, current political tensions, and the unpredictability of North Korea's actions. With this information, to make it to the point, we should measure the threat based on how great the potential is for imminent danger. So in my first argument, I'm going to be talking about the dangerous leadership of North Korea. Under Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, his rule has been merciless and his attitude towards the United States is constantly changing. The inconsistency of his claims confuses the United States with regards to what he really considers his relationship with the United States to be. Since President Trump's presidency, we've seen him attempt to have a relationship with the supreme leader. There have been many meetings, which were dubbed by the media as peace summits, although if you do further research into the results of the peace summits, there was little to no results. Not only this, but at the end of the year in 2019, Kim Jong-un warned the United States of a surprise quote-unquote Christmas present to the United States. But what had happened to these peace talks and letters that the president had written to Kim Jong-un back and forth? There was no sign of a change until this random threat. According to top military officials on an article posted on CNN, no one was even sure what to expect from this Christmas present threat. The constant indecisiveness under the leadership of KJU, or Kim Jong-un, warns us to expect the unexpected, legitimizing how much of a threat North Korea really can be. The worst type of enemy to have is one that is unpredictable, especially if one day they can pretend to be your friend and do the exact opposite the next. This is just one example of what makes North Korea more of a threat to the United States than Iran. We know that Iran is not our ally since it's already been established, but under KJU, we don't really know if they want to be allies with the United States or not. Now I will continue with my next argument. So in my second argument, I'm going to discuss the unpredictability and actions of the regime or the military, which also pose a threat. So the military is most likely the most funded part of the government in North Korea, and just like its supreme leader, the military under Kim will try and hide their training events or claim that they aren't until US officials or South Korean officials have actually caught in their activity. So once again, building off of the failed peace talks, military officials had once again caught North Korean activity and recognized that there were missile tests that were happening even during the peace talks. The nuclear capabilities of North Korea are also under question by military officials. And these actions aren't to be taken lightly. According to another article on CNN, US officials once again voiced their concern for North Korea over testing quote-unquote creative weapons that could pose a major threat to the United States. Building off of the first point, not only is Kim Jong-un's attitude being shown as back and forth, but now his actions are with the military as well. After being open to peace talks and discussions on less weapons testing, he's been caught on multiple instances doing just that. This further proves the point of the potential danger, as we may not know what else is being developed weapon-wise or what plans the regime might have in the near future. Now to conclude with my final argument. So the allied support from Russia and China with North Korea. So overall, both Russia and China can be considered opponents to the United States, which ties directly with North Korea due to all of them having a common enemy. In fact, Russia and North Korea even share 11 miles of border with each other. Now when it comes to China, North Korea relies heavily on China for their trade and their economy. In order to lower this heavy dependence, Kim Jong-un is attempting to ally even more with Russia as well. According to the National Bureau of Asian Research, it is also believed that this balancing strategy between allies presents an opportunity for the United States and its allies to shape a new order in Northeast Asia amid escalating US-China strategic rivalry. So what that means is with China, North Korea, and Russia all coming together and helping each other, the US will recognize them all as an escalating force. Given how each nation has problems with our military, our presence in others' business, and some belief that the US sees itself as a superpower that wants complete takeover, these allied forces may continue to help each other advance in areas where they wouldn't be able to do it alone. Being able to balance each other out and having a shared goal of keeping US presence out of their business makes for a potentially dangerous pairing. While there's no proven information of any plans of action against the US, that does not mean that the threat does not exist. In conclusion, North Korea is one of the greatest threats to the United States today. Its dangerous, unpredictable leader, secret military operations, and allies who all share a common enemy are proof of this. If you look at the historical actions as well, you'll see more of the unpredictability of the regime under the supreme leader to prove each of these 3 points. The United States has many enemies, but none of them are like North Korea. Kim Jong-un could preach about peace one day and launch a missile the next. It's like having an enemy in the dark that you can't see or tell what the other is thinking or planning. When it comes to Iran, for example, we know how they feel about us and we're on high alert because of that. But how can you be on high alert with North Korea when we have no idea what's going to happen next? Due to this reasoning, I believe that North Korea is and will continue to be one of the biggest threats to the United States.